like I said, we'll start actually from the perspective of Ilara Athariel, the Elven Ranger, a Black Oak Ranger. And so, Ilara, you are from a place called the Evening Lands. It's a part of what used to be a massive human kingdom called the Kingdom of Light, or the Old Kingdom. That kingdom has since disintegrated. There is this ancient prophecy that used to bind both the elves here and the humans called the Geritect. But no one has heard from the human church that held this prophecy in decades. No one knows what has happened to that seat of government or power. And so the city-states of the Evening lands have balkanized. Nearby, within 100 miles or so, the two main powers are the city of Rebek and the city of Griff's Bluff. And your elven people hold a secret that not even you know the truth behind. That there are these ruins, these structures with mad, unrealistic, physically impossible geometric shapes. Sometimes they'll tower up and curve back in on themselves, yet even though they're 50 feet high and things like that. And your peoples have guarded these things jealously, especially against humans and dwarves. But then you noticed at some point in your past that they had resorted to murder. That no deed was... any tactic was acceptable if it meant preventing the humans and dwarves from meddling with these things. And so you found your people to be cruel and perhaps even evil. And you turned against them and joined the humans. And so you have served as a ranger, protecting the human lands against monsters and incursions, and even your own people now for several decades. You heard that several people traveled through. And the strangest thing is, as subtle as it was, you didn't even hear, you didn't even notice, perhaps you were on patrol that day, but that all of the different things that you heard about these people, a magic sword, having slain a dragon, protecting hobbits, all of these things are all, you know, in your probably eidetic elvish memory, elven memory, that like these are all parts of a human prophecy. And so you think that this could be something that could help you. And you've heard that they came here to discover the fate of a fallen dwarven kingdom, which you would know about, that 2 centuries ago, a massive dwarven kingdom had completely fallen to ruin in the north. And also to help a shire of hobbits, a shire named Brandonsford. And so you have set off for Griff's Bluff to find these people. And that's where you are right now. Let's see. So, Ratbite Ben and Edward, Homer, Tharnlin, Knob, Boulder Hill, and Squints. You awaken also at the Lone Watchmen Inn in the city of Griff's Vale. And you come down into what is now a pretty familiar common area for you. Maybe some of you a little bit hungover. Knob and Squints are definitely loud about it. Tharnlin remains stoic as if he's not hungover, but he probably is as well. And he's also feeling ill today. Because you put on a right hoopla last night. And a performance for everybody. And whole portion of the town came in and participated, including some of the keep's guards of the local baron. And here are the things that both Alara, Athariel, you notice, and everyone else. Now, Alara, you see these people come down from the second floor via the stairs, and you're certain that this must be who you're looking for. These 3 men, 2 hobbits, and a dwarf. Because that's precisely the people that were said to have went into the Ranger's keep. And one of them even has a gleaming sword and a very ornate scabbard. So these are obviously the people you're looking for. This is what you all notice in the tavern. There's a man here, the same man who sits alone, looking at his cup, muttering and shaking from fear. You see the man who Feldark smacked yesterday. He's waiting tables nervously. And you heard that this was Feldark's son, Greyduck. And who else? It's a busy day here. It seems like people are traveling through. These are usually pilgrims. You can hear people hawking wares and selling things outside. Yeah, what do you do? Alara, you see them come down.
So they're coming down the stairs. Are they headed in any particular direction, or?
They're heading in your direction because they need a place to sit.
I'm gonna
drink.
kind of slowly move that way, and introduce myself.
Good morning.
Helmer
Good morning, travelers. You do not know me, but my name is Ilara, and I have heard stories about a group of travelers describing you, I think, and I would be interested in getting better acquainted. Would you care to share a meal?
Yes, it'll have to be a quick one. We have a road ahead of us this morning. Lots to do.
I will skip the meal this morning. Thank you.
Hopefully you'll be able to keep us company.
I will do my very best.
Darnlin says, "Another elf! Another elf! Oh!"
Elf. Oh, yeah. So you're not here to offer us master thief services. That's good. We didn't go so well last time.
I look at you, decide not to pursue it, but did your character actually share with us what happened? Did Ben actually talk to us about that whole pursuit and everything?
Yeah.
I can imagine a drunken story last night.
Yeah, it's like, it was crazy. I went through the story was embellished about how he went through a house and there were big dudes, not children, in the house that threatened, and he snuck past them and all sorts of stuff. In fact, it was a kid and his mom, but yeah.
Alara, there are also 2 hobbits with them that are somewhere, slightly more than 3 feet tall. One of them says he bows sanctimoniously, like overly bows, because he thinks that that's what all non-hobbit people do, and stands up on the seat of the bench of the table in order to do this, and he's like, "It's very nice to meet you. My name is Nob Boulderhill, and these are my friends Squints, and this is Ratbite Ben, and Edward, and Helmer, and Tharnlin, and we are on a quest."
I look at Nob and smile and say, I couldn't have said it better myself. This here is Nob Boulderhill, the most famous hobbit in the region.
Oh, and he straightens his whatever those things. What are those big ties called?
Cravat.
Cravat. He straightens his cravat when you say that. Yeah.
Well, Nob, it is a pleasure to meet you and your friends.
It's a pleasure to meet you as well. I had never met an elf, except, well, there were those in the forest, and they weren't very nice. And they tried to kill me and my friends, but it's okay. And then we met some really nice elves in a castle off in the forest west of the mountain range north of here. And you know that what he's talking about is the Black Oak Ruins, which is your base of operations for the Black Oak Rangers.
My friends. The nice ones, that is.
Oh, you're...
Oh, you?
Oh, sorry, go ahead, please.
Yeah, sorry, you know them?
Indeed. We work together and serve together for a common purpose. I must apologize for my kin attacking you. Many have become misguided, and while I cannot prevent them from doing so, we do what we can to protect those they wish to harm.
We will have to deal with that problem sometime, but for now, we have other issues. But would you care to join us? It sounds like you are, if you're of that, so you are one of them then? You're one of the Rangers of Black Oak?
Indeed, I am a Black Oak Ranger. And while we are doing what we can, it is getting difficult to continue in defense of people, and we may need to do more. I had heard about your party and thought that maybe by traveling with you, I could aid you and my people.
Well, it was always our intention, I think, to come back that way, once we had at least secured safety and livelihood for the winter for Brandonsford. So it may work out well. And I assume we're eating as we're saying all this, having whatever it is we need to...
Greduk, the son of Fildark, comes by. You can see he's bruised up and looks like he's been beat up. Actually, he's shaking, and he puts down some porridge and some drinks, some really meh kind of ale, maybe even a little watered down. But he puts all of this down on the table, and then he sees Tharnlin. He's like, "Oh, Master Dwarf, let me get you a better drink, Master Dwarf." And he bows to Tharnlin and then walks off nervously.
I could use one too.
Conspicuously, he ignores you.
Elmer reaches across the table, grabs an ale, and then kind of looks at Tharnlin and reaches over and grabs his too. Kind of slowly brings him in.
Just grumpily crosses his arms and then looks over at, and he's like, "That's an odd lad. But then he comes back, Greta comes back and has you can smell the potency from what he brings back and puts it down in front of Tharnlin, and then Greta is like, here you go, Master Dwarf. Please forgive me. Here you go." And Tharnlin's like, "All right, lad, thanks." And then starts to drink it.
I'm conspicuously say just across the table, just like, well, I was gonna ask who beat him up and see if they needed some straightening out, but I guess if you're gonna be rude to your guests, you don't get any benefits from it.
Tharnlin's like, "I don't know, he seems all right to me," and then keeps drinking.
Helmer kind of looks at him like side. My friend, is there anything from last night you don't recall?
You say that to Tharnlin?
Yeah.
He stops for a moment, puts his drink down. "Well, now that you mention it, I don't quite recall last night. I mean, the whole breadth of it, really."
Elmer kind of frowns and looks into his drink, looks at the kid, looks at him. Slowly takes a drink.
After some time, Feldark himself comes by as he starts doing his rounds, as you're eating and discussing these things, and he says, "Oh, my favorite patrons, good to see you. Well, will you be staying in town for a while? Then I could give you a deal on a room if you want."
It does sound like a good idea.
Oh, well, I tell you what, 5 gold each, and your room's covered for the week. You can store your goods here. It's safe. That's what I say about the Lone Watchmen Inn. It's a safe place.
Does it seem like a safe place? Like, I mean, when I look around me and see, like, doors, construction, like, does it seem like there's actually a place to store stuff?
The second story of this 2-story building has rooms that have locks, but they're very Spartan. As far as it seeming safe, you actually see somebody getting thrown out of the front door as he says that. He says,
It's also a matter of a purported master thief who may want to rob us.
It's not entirely my fault. It's what they say about good help. You can't stay angry at lazy people, right? You know what they say? Aye. Because they didn't do anything, right? And he slams the table. And anyways, and then he looks at the 2 hobbits and he's like, "Wait a second. You're 2 hobbits. Are you 2 hobbits for hire?" And Knob's just like, "I'm sorry, sir, but we're quite employed, actually, and quite busy, in fact." "Oh, drats. It's so hard to find a good hobbit."
Well, one more reason for you to invest in our venture.
You know what? You're absolutely right. And he goes over to the wall and he takes off one of his paintings. The painting is a landscape of the nearby hills. It's kind of,
Yeah,
okay.
Uninspired.
Yeah, and then he hands it. He's like, "I think you should have this. This one's on the house. You should have this one for free. I insist on it."
I accept. But your walls are beginning to look rather bare. You've sold many paintings in the last day.
You said that in character, and they're absolutely not bare, and they're covered by his unpurchased paintings. But go ahead.
Well, but you said that
there's like maybe 2 or 3 spaces open. Yeah.
Okay. Well, you did say, yeah. Sorry, I remember you said last session he successfully sold several.
Oh yeah! Oh my gosh, I forgot about that. All the people were drunk and they bought all.
They were drunk and they bought a bunch of his paintings.
I forgot about that. I'm sorry. Yeah, no, his walls are bare, and yeah.
Well, he's got to be giving me one of the last ones. I say, "I feel bad taking some of the last of your decorations. What will you do? You'll have to paint more, my friend."
"Well, if you insist." And he beams, smiles, and walks off.
I lean over to everybody and say, "It's important to keep the innkeeper happy."
Yeah,
Not solemnly, yeah.
Feldark seems like a fan of you all. And then another person eventually comes by, probably as you're getting ready to leave, and he's like, "Hello there. Looking for someone to watch your horses, aren't you? Traveling through on the pilgrim's path, aren't you? Yes, I believe you are. You're pilgrims, aren't you? Headed on to east on the road?"
Unfortunately, my friend, our horse or mule met a bad end.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Well, look. I'm sure you have stuff that needs watching. You're not going to find a better ostler than me. I'm the very best in Griff's Bluff. If you have things that need watched, they'll be watched. I guarantee it.
It's a good point you bring up, Mr. Ostler. Could you point us in the direction of a quality beast of burden?
So say you don't come with a horse perchance, do you? Because that would be really useful. Then we'd hire you, I bet.
I could take you to the stable. I got a friend there who could give you a discount. The name's a video, and I could, and then I could watch the horses.
Seems like you'd like to do nothing better.
Aye. You want to? Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, let's go. Shall we? Shall we go buy a pack animal or two?
Yeah. Let's see here.
It's a good idea, yeah.
They are actually...
I think this is going to be our base of operations, God willing, for a little while. The Lord, what is it? The three. And I clumsily try to make the hand gesture again.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe it's like angry Italian.
Yeah.
That's the sign.
Except maybe you have to like be a little more
kind
kind of exultant about it or something. I don't know. I don't know. I have not figured out how to do that yet. Let's see here.
It's like I said. You make the beard stroking gesture, and then you take your hand away from your beard mid stroke, and that's what it is. It's that configuration.
But is it like this one, or is it like?
It's.
I hate to be so dumb, but like I'm saying, are you seriously like halfway stroking my beard? Is the motion?
At least you have a beard to stroke. I'm stroking air, so
You can play a dwarf next time, and then you'll have. So, but what
It's
do you
supposed
do?
to be
What do you do with it?
Well, it. Oh, you mean is there supposed to be some kind of motion associated
Or
with
do
it?
you just hold it up like that? You know, I don't know what to do with it.
I think you just hold
I
it
don't
up.
know what to do with my hands. I don't.
Yeah.
I can't. You just hold it up. Okay, it comes across as an offensive gesture when I do that for some reason. But this is the picture of the.
Yeah, it does have sort of an Arbafangul look to it, you know.
Yeah. Okay. My eyes fell on exactly the right page for once. I don't know why, but I always have trouble finding this one. Beasts of Burden. So he takes you down to a stable where they have mules for sale, and they have riding horses, and a few draft horses.
It's time to upgrade, gentlemen.
There are some people around here talking, discussing gossip of the area of the lands. One of the things that you hear, without much work of eavesdropping on people, is apparently they have a surplus of horses, which is why they're at their normal listed price, because the pilgrims come through and they all they board their horses here, and that's why the ostlers they make good business. Like there are a lot of them, and some of the pilgrims don't come back, so the result is that they end up having extra horses. So a riding horse is 75 gold, a mule is 30 gold, a draft horse, which is just for like pulling heavy vehicles and stuff, is 40 gold.
So I think everybody's got.
I say we get.
I think it is.
You'll also need a saddle and bridle to ride them, and you can have them carry your stuff if you purchase saddlebags. That would be another 30 gold.
Well, how much is a cart, like a riding cart?
They have that here. A cart is 100 gold.
Okay.
Which can
And
be
I assume
pulled by-
that has. Okay, but is that like I'm talking about like a carriage, you know, like something you could sit in while you're driving the horse?
No, that would be a wagon, which would be 200 gold.
All right. I say we go wagon, and a couple of riding horses. You know, just if we're gonna at least for as long
We'll need at least 2 draft horses for a wagon, it seems.
Are we gonna paint the wagon?
When time allows, my friend.
You can paint your wagon. I don't know.
Make sure we used oil-based paint.
You can pull more stuff if you have 4 draft horses. Yeah. But,
I think if, while we're especially while we're in the city and its surroundings and everything, it would make sense, while there's good roads and that kind of thing. And, hire an ostler or 2 or whatever. I don't know. I mean, are we still relatively flush?
Okay, there's our gold. So currently we have 997 gold pieces, 50 platinum pieces, mysteriously.
Oh, yeah.
We still got the
Oh,
emerald
yeah.
ring, the magic. A bunch
So you
of
guys aren't
jewelry.
hurting for cash at all.
No, we're doing pretty
That's
good.
good to know.
interestingly,
Yeah,
they've lost most of it, actually. So there's that, too.
Well, and then I guess 5. So let's see. 2 hobbits, dwarf, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. So minus 30 for our stay. So we got 967 gold. And I actually had to plug that into a calculator, and now I'm ashamed of myself.
So you could
It's hard.
purchase a wagon and 2 draft horses if you preferred. And I'll say everybody but 2 people can ride on that. You wouldn't be able to
Actually, we
load.
can grab a couple other horses too.
Okay, so let's see, that'd be 80 gold, 280 gold plus. Let's see, that's 280 gold plus 2 riding horses. 380, 430 plus 60, 90, 490 gold for 2 riding horses with saddle bags, saddles, full tack wagon, and 2 draft horses. Now,
Sound agreeable?
you can't use a land vehicle on difficult terrain without a road. So you essentially can't really go cross country with a wagon, but you can a horse.
Oh, okay, so do you guys want to, what do you want to do? I don't want to just make unilateral decisions here.
Well, I think we do go cross country a lot.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
we'll probably do the riding horses then.
Okay, and just
Pack,
rely on saddlebags,
yeah.
a couple of pack mules, and slim down a little bit.
Yeah. Got a nice little
I
caravan.
got stars in my eye.
I froze and dropped. So, are we buying a wagon or not buying a wagon?
I think we're gonna
No,
pick
we're
a
gonna
wagon
horses.
and get riding horses. Because we go cross country like a lot. So.
And
Yeah,
a couple,
that makes
and
sense.
we should get a couple pack mules too.
So it'd be 735 plus 2 pack mules, 795. If you had 2 pack mules and 7 riding horses with tack.
Leaves us with 172 gold.
Now, are the hobbits getting their own riding horses?
Or would they have a pony?
Yeah, they could buy a pony. I'll drop the price in half. Also, all their stuff, you could put it on the mules. So minus the tack. I lost. What was the number I gave? Oh no,
795.
795. Okay, so minus 210. 795.
It's 585.
585. Yeah, with 2 ponies. 585. 2 ponies. 5 horses with tack and 2 mules.
585 is much easier to I find that more acceptable than the previous number. All right. So we got 382. and we're gonna have to rob some tombs and dungeons to get our swag bags full again.
Yes, indeed.
Hey, it's what it's for. All right. Right on. So everybody's got a horse now.
Awesome. Just gonna write that down. So, horses.
And at this, Ovidio is like, and all right, because he thinks it's a done deal. He's like, my horse watching skills, as exemplary as they are, and having, shown you where to buy the horses, of course, it's just 1 gold piece a week. That's all it takes, and I'll watch all your stuff. It'll go nowhere.
Hums and haws about it as if he's actually thinking about it. I don't know, my friend. Like, your services were excellent, but perhaps 75 silver pence would be more appropriate.
Part of the job interview. So, what do you do if somebody actually tries to steal our horse? Or
Yes, this is important.
Curious.
I would say, hey, you, a master thief. Oh, wait, no, that's different. Hey, master thief, you, stop it. He looks sternly, like that ought to do it.
These excellent security skills. I must confer with my my companions. Turns around, leans in. I have nothing to say. I just want to give him some suspense.
Yeah.
What do we? I mean, I guess it's nice to have somebody that we, he's gonna take care of the horses too, right? He calls himself an ostler, right?
Yeah. So basically,
Right.
They're at the stable, and then he's gonna take care of them and everything while you're gone. Yeah, and watch them.
I think that's fair, actually. Yeah, that's really.
And you don't have to stable them, I should note. However, something that Helmer knows is basically if you're a pilgrim, you always go by foot. That's why so many people do stable their horses here, is because the pilgrim's path is done as a foot journey. But if you're not a pilgrim, there's not any need, unless you're trying to pass off as a pilgrim for some reason. But looking at the rules, there's nothing that says you can't take a horse over difficult terrain.
Well, we're not walking the pilgrim's path necessarily. We're just trying to.
We're kind of on a mercantile.
Well, but yeah, I mean, while they're here, I suppose it'd be nice if he's.
Yeah.
So you're saying he works out of the stable? He's not traveling with us?
Right.
Okay. All right, well, fine. He can be our guy, I guess.
I'll hand him a gold piece and thank you, my friend. So hopefully we do frequent business as we're passing through.
Oh, yes. Shall I watch them now?
Nay, get them prepared for us.
Oh, well, yes, right at once. And he runs and starts getting your horses ready.
He needs to work for that money. A gold piece.
No ponying around.
How fast do horses go? They go miles per day. Horse, 48 miles per day. So essentially, on a horse, unless you encounter something where you can't use a horse, you can go just about wherever you want on the map. So you have one.
Is that on a road? 48 miles a day is a lot.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that. Now, if you had to cross streams or go through forests, that would be different. But if it's open terrain or roads, then yeah, it says 48 miles. So there you go. The mule only goes 24 miles, so I guess that's what's going to slow everybody down.
Be right back.
Nonetheless, though, that's enough to cross a whole portion of the map.
Yeah.
So
I guess 48 would be like if you're doing. That's Pony Express.
Yeah, that's if you're in a rush.
Yeah.
So you all have won the sandbox. You've won from having horses. All right. Now what do you do?
Until the Griffin eats them anyway.
Until
That's
there is a
assuming nothing
Griffin.
kills your horse. Yeah. You might have to buy an extra mule.
But he's not.
and some-
He's not in these parts. He's up north from here. His chomping grounds. Yeah. So let's head out to the. Let's head out to the priory or whatever it was.
Okay.
Meet with Mother Sister. What was her name? Tabitha.
It only takes a matter of minutes for you to ride your horses and ponies and whatnot over there. To the Church of the Thrice Blessed, which you're easily able to see both off the road and from the scent of the smell of pig excrement on the air and fermented apples. And what do you do when you get there? You see the church.
Seek out Sister. What's her name?
No goblins here this time.
Greta. Was that it?
The only open place is the church. There's a gentle chant echoing inside of the church walls from chanters, and light streaming in from rays and stained glass. And I will tell you what you see here. You see, I forgot to mention what you saw in the streets. Oh well. You don't see Sister Greta. And if you ask, they tell her that you'll need to wait, as she is currently in an audience with Chamberlain Santo. And inside of the church is a man praying in a back pew, and 3 red-robed figures. It's clear to you that other people that are sitting here are whispering and looking at the red-robed figures conspiratorially.
I'll approach a local quietly.
All right.
Or maybe actually, yeah.
The man is like, "Oh, do you come here to pray often, sir?"
Well, it's our second time in the building. It's a beautiful, beautiful church.
Oh, not from here then. He raises his hand. I'm
Yes.
not sure.
As do I.
Yes. The claw. So.
And
then he says, I just had to come here. I'm so thankful. I'm so thankful to the Thrice Blessed, especially to the Shadow Child. You see, it has been a season of wealth for me, friend. I've just made so much money, and I'm grateful for everything that I've been given. You see, I'm a cobbler, and I knew that was where the money was, because guess what pilgrims need? Shoes. And then he realizes he says it really loud, and people kind of turn back and look at you all in the pews, and then he's like, "Oh, sorry."
yes. Hey, that's very interesting. Who are these red-robed ones?
Oh, the Red Priesthood. They're somewhere from out west, further on into the Evening Lands. Not as pious as us people near the Blackspine Mountains, you know. They say they're from a schismatic sect. They've broken away from the holy teachings of the Geritect.
I'm making a lore roll.
Sure, I have to remember this. So I have to remember you never know lore from the ground up. You always know it from a big picture. And so I have to remember that. But do it.
Right.
Yeah, go for it.
It failed.
Oh.
Moving on. And I say, Jeratek, you say?
Yes, the Jeratek, it's our holy scripture. It's both a prophecy and a scripture for how we live our lives. It describes how the convocation of towers is bound together. Although no one has ever seen it here, it's kept in Damarung, in our holy city.
Oh, I see. So these red ones, they protest for some reason.
Well, it's not the sort of thing I would, polite people would say out loud, but perhaps this is perhaps it's destiny that we're talking now, So I'll tell you what I know. You see, the church here in the Evening Lands have not heard from the convocation in decades. Something awful happened before the war with the traitor, and then the war came after that with the Unmen. And that was a couple decades ago, and we've just been trying to survive on our own, keeping the candle lit here, as it were, off away from our holy guides and our holy prophets that guard the Jeratek in the true way. Well, anyways, the Red Priesthood believes that we should separate from the convocation, and they believe that we should be able to chart our own path now, adhering to the teachings and traditions that we have, but no longer answering to this the church that we haven't heard from in so long.
That sounds quite troublesome.
It's quite troublesome to have.
So why are they here?
That's a great question. And here in the Church of the Thrice Blessed, it's an ill omen if you ask me. The whole place, what with the loss of the trade roads into the western cities and the loss of the trade roads to the dwarves, it feels like we're coming to the time of the Jeratek. Like, it's almost like the end times are coming. The goblin hordes are rising again. Strange glowing lights to the north. It's a strange and fearful time.
Yes, before you know it, dragons will be upon us. Yes. Well, you never know your luck. Well, thank you for the talk, my friend. I await an audience with Sister Greta.
He holds up a symbol that shows 3 humanoid figures, one larger one in the center, one curled around an orb, and one holding a staff that looks small like a child. And he says, I have faith. It'll be okay in the end.
As do I.
Elmer makes the sign.
I think your mic's up. There we go.
Homer makes the sign as the guy goes. So, yeah, Homer's a little little aggravated about the first goblins, and now actually probably mutters this first goblins, and now these.
Yeah.
Kind of giving them side stink eye over there, and turns and commences to wait.
Eventually, an attendant comes and says, "Excuse me, my brothers and my sister, if you would come with me, Sister Greta is ready for you."
Elmer nods.
Thank you.
They guide you into the back of the church, and there are 2 people back here. There is, in very rather plain clothes, the old woman, Sister Greta. And she says, "Ah, the sword of Sir Brandon, yes?"
That it is, ma'am.
And then there's a man in here, and she says, "Allow me to introduce you to Rauben. This, my friend, is Lord Rauben, and he claims a direct descendant, to be a direct descendant of Griff, the Holy Knight Griff."
Ah. Wait, so is this the Baron?
No.
Oh.
And Rauben looks like a young person who's short and fat. He's probably 17 to 19 years old. And he's like, "A pleasure to meet you." And he bows like he has a lisp. And she's like, "It occurred to me that we might be able to help one another. It seems as if certain things are aligning and destiny points to something, perhaps."
I certainly hope so, for Brandonsford's sake.
Brandonsford. I have fond feelings and memories about Brandonsford, you know. Perhaps Brandonsford could also help us. Perhaps we could reach an agreement, but in order to do that, I think the church needs to return to its rightful place in matters here in the keep and in Griff's Vale.
And what does that mean?
Well, the pilgrim traffic is the lifeblood of Griff's Vale, and Griff's Bluff, of course. But you see, the Marcher Lord, he doesn't quite understand that. And we're on the verge of war, even as goblins circle around us and gather together in hordes. We face another war from the east, barbarians from the west, and our Marcher Lord is focused instead on his petty rivalry with that Countess. Forgive me, it's very difficult. I am concerned for the people of this vale, you see. And I think that we might be able to help. But the people need to see what should come first, the more important matters. And to do that, I think it might be helpful if they had a sign. And she looks down at your sword.
Well, what about it?
Well, just before we had our talk, I was approached by Rauben here. And he has a sort of shadow to your quest. Something that he needs. And it all just seems like perhaps it could come together. Rauben is the descendant of Griff, and he searches for the sword of Griff.
I look Rauben up and down doubtfully.
Rauben
I see.
gives you like a crooked, toothy smile when you do that.
You want us to take this young lord under our wing and lead him into deadly danger?
Well, my friends, actually, what I need is to find any sort of artifact and bring it back here. You see, my ancestor, Griff, was never officially canonized by the church. And that is something I hope to change. But to do so, I must have an artifact of Griff, a part of his body, and preferably his sword.
Was Griff one of Brandon's companions?
Yeah.
Brandon was one of Griff's companions. Griff was the the Knight Lord in command of the armies that liberated this area of the goblin hordes, and it was Griff's sword that slew the dragon Wrath. Or wait, no, it was Brandon's sword that slew the dragon Wrath. Griff shattered the dragon shrine that was erected by the goblin horde.
So, do you by chance know where we might get one of these artifacts?
Yes. He has a book on him, in fact. He's like, according to my research, there is I believe I'm certain where his original resting place is. It's not where most people would think. It's beneath Old Brainmeal, a village southeast of here.
Beneath it, you say?
Yes, that's where his tomb would be, I think.
A tomb, of course. Well, and so in return, what are we speaking of, ma'am?
Yeah, what's the payout? No, not to be crass, but...
She says, well, if you help Robin and return with the sword, I believe that we can have an official ceremony with the actual canonization of Griff. We'll mark it as a holy day. And with the presentation of Griff's relics and hopefully his very sword, and with the sword of Sir Brandon, it is with that I could declare a time of holy work for the people of Griff's Vale. Namely, to remove the goblin hordes from these lands, and to hopefully avert a war amongst the humans of this place that should not be fighting with each other right now. And with that, and the goblins cleared, I think that I might have the sway necessary in the town here to begin trade with Brandonsford. And nay, even it may be necessary to have Brandonsford's help. But as it stands, you should know that I don't have such power, to be honest.
And the Baron has the power but not the interest.
Indeed. Baron Edric is concerned mostly with the Countess, as well as several other things that distract him from his duties.
I see. Such as?
Let me look.
Well, you know, this
and
and
also,
that, I guess.
yeah, let me also see what she's going to tell you. Ah. You can roll. Actually, Birdie roll a d6, and Steve roll a d6.
Oh, here it comes.
5.
Got a 5 and a 4. Okay.
Is that a good or a bad thing?
Yes.
Of course, as I said, there is the war with Rebic that looms. There was just another failed diplomatic delegation that left the keep just yesterday. There's also, and I hate to mention this, as I do believe that Baron Edric is a good man and means well for his people. But a certain drunk was pulled off the streets and is kept in the dungeon. His license and authority is not infinite, and this man will have to face trial. And it is said that he knows some things. He was apparently a comrade of Lord Edric, or Baron Edric, in the war, and apparently he has said some things about the truth of Baron Edric's service in that time. You see, I know that you're not from here. You should know that Baron Edric is considered one of the greatest heroes of the war against the traitor. And then lastly, and I do hate to mention this as well, but since we're going to be working together on these things, I suppose it's important that you should know. His wife, Lady Eudocia, they're back in my home, Pompaburg, to the west, and something is wrong with his daughter. There is some talk of the Baron actually leaving his duties and returning to our former capital of the Evening Lands and Pompaburg to the west. Then any changes or any authorizations for the use of force or establishing new trade, none of that would happen until the spring.
I see. And so, you think that the discovery of this sword, combined with my sword, would be enough to convince him?
She smiles. I don't know if his convincing matters. Perhaps this is a divinely appointed moment. If what you say is true, and you've come here, and this little hobbit believes so strongly that this is some prophecy, and you slew a dragon with that blade again, then finding its twin should be destiny.
Oh, I'm not disputing that. I'm simply thinking of Brandonsford. If this man is so disinterested, if my lord is so disinterested, then why would he change his mind just because someone found a sword in a tomb?
I think my meaning has passed by you, my friend. I don't think his interest will matter. If the people
you expect...
if the people
we
are
need
stirred
to find
up,
that sword and tell everybody else that we found it.
Oh, you think he will? You think that he will respond to popular pressure?
I think that he.
Especially if a certain prisoner maybe can spread some tales. I don't know. Just
She smiles and she says, "I do hope the best for our Baron. He is so troubled."
I see. Well, shall we about it? We've all had a good breakfast.
sounds like a gig to me. I don't know.
Raubin says, "It will be a pleasure to join you."
How are you with a blade, Robin?
He takes a little like epee out and he's like, ha 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 ha, and it's like, not only is it like only sport and showmanship, but not even good. It might be best to keep this guy in the back.
Homer gives
thank
him
you.
a nod, like, yes, very good, my friend.
Robin smiles at Helmer, bows, and then he looks over to, and then he looks at Alara and is like, "Oh, an elf too."
We're quite the crew now, aren't we?
Yes, well, let's get on the road. The day is wearing away.
Let me move Raubin up here. Okay, he's joined the adventurers.
Robin's gonna either have to walk or ride on the mule. Does he have his own horse?
I'll say one.
He's a young lord. He probably has his own horse.
Yeah. He's got his own horse. Yeah.
When we leave, Helmer kind of, well, once we're out of the church, Helmer can't withhold his excitement anymore. He goes, quest! Kind of grabs you guys both around his arms. Quest!
Yeah.
It's patting everybody.
Nice.
Yes. I am with you, my friend.
Okay. What do you do?
Well, I ask Robin, which way to this tomb?
Yes. Old Bravir. To get there, we will need to travel the Pilgrim's Road until we reach Beaver Run, and then head south. It should be, you would know, actually. About 12 miles by road. We could be there before nightfall.
Yes, we could be there. Well, what time of day is it now? 'Cause
Afternoon, I'll say.
oh, it's already afternoon?
Early, like, 11 a.m.
Oh, okay. Oh, we'll definitely get there before nightfall, barring any mishaps on the road.
Okay. You head off on the Pilgrim's Road, and then surely mishaps do not occur. The woods around you, well, initially, I should say the first thing that happens is you depart for some miles, and it's gorgeous outside. It's autumn here in the Evening Lands. Leaves fall from the trees, and it's brightly colored. After a few miles, you come on a very well-kept bridge made of stone, and the Baron Griff's Bluff's guards guard it for a toll. He actually, the Lord with you, Rauben, he actually pays the toll for everyone. You cross the bridge, and this continues until it becomes more heavily wooded, and more heavily wooded, and more heavily wooded, until finally it feels as if the canopy of the forest is crowding in around you. It is not nighttime, but the forest here is especially thick, and the canopy is blocking the streams of sunlight in places. Let's see. Alara, roll a d6.
I got a 1.
Oh boy.
That's the best number.
You all are riding, and the trail narrows. Strange colors come from mushrooms on the ground. And Rauben says, "This is the Braemill Wood. Some say it is haunted." And you got a 1. So then roll a d6 again, Alara.
Can I be
Also
get
a
my
1.
thief ears out to listen?
What'd you get?
Another 1.
You see off the side of the road, gathered in a small hollow, as the trail descends down into a depression, a large cluster of phosphorescent mushrooms. In fact, you can see them clustered along just off the path of the road. Some of them even sprouting up on either side of the trail. The hobbits, Knob's like, "Oh, I think I've heard of these mushrooms. I've heard they're particularly delicious." He licks his lips.
Don't eat any mushrooms.
Even gather some?
Well, maybe gather some. You may want to have a look.
Yes! And Knob hops off the horse and waddles over to the mushrooms and starts gathering them in sacks and stuff. This takes a few moments as you're standing there. And then, let's see. Ben, roll a d6.
As he gets off to go check for mushrooms, Helmer gets off too and has a shield out and hand on his sword.
I'm a 1 to 3 to hear noises.
1 to 3, did that pass? I didn't.
Did not.
Okay. No, okay, you didn't get a 1 though, right? Or a 2?
I did not.
Okay, that's a good thing in this case. And
okay.
what'd you say Helmer was doing?
When the hobbits start running in to collect stuff, Helmer gets off his horse with his shield ready and his hand on the hilt of his sword, just kind of keeping a watch.
Yeah,
He's
okay.
not too keen on this place.
Helmer and Ben, you can see massive shapes shifting and moving. At first you think are branches, and then they twist and move and land on another branch up in the branches above you where the mushrooms are.
Now, if I'm correct, Thornlin and I both have infravision, yes?
Yes, 60 feet.
So are we able to see better in the dark area?
It's not dark, actually. I mean, it's
Okay.
darker, but it's not like night. It's not like black or anything. So you can all see. But yes, as you're looking here, you see Helmer like put his hand on the hilt of his sword and start to look up, and you look and you see on the other side where the mushrooms are in the gosh darn it, in the hollow. There are some bones sticking up out of the earth.
And Helmer sees movement. Was hobbits, horses. Now,
Get back.
All right. Does someone want to make the dexterity check for the hobbits, or do you want me to?
Ooh. Sounds like fun.
Sounds like something the DM should do.
I could do it. Okay. All right. Let's see here. Knob Boulder Hill. I'm gonna make it a save versus death. It's not death, so don't worry. But he fails. So all of a sudden there's this screeching and these things fall down on you from above. Let me know if you can't move these things. Let's see, Ben is a little bit further up. Helmer is a little bit further up. Everyone else, I think, is back, and then the hobbits are up ahead. Goodness. They're so big. Let me see if I can fix them.
It's nice mushrooms.
Yeah, Super Mario mushrooms. Foundry is not responding. Raubin's going to stay in the back because this quest will be over really fast. And Alara right here.
Well, not necessarily. I mean, if we've still got the the map, you know. That's all we need.
Let's see. These massive spiders jump down right next to the two hobbits. What's the plan?
Through.
Say again?
Yeah.
Go through them. Kill them all.
Oh, kill them. Okay. All right.
Yeah, Helmer will try to get in between the hobbits and. Well, actually, no. He knows they're capable. He tries to get up there and help the hobbits with fighting.
Okay. Is anyone going to cast a spell? Okay. In that case, let's see.
Am I able to hit him with a longbow from this distance?
Oh yeah, definitely. Ben, roll a d6 for initiative. 5. Doesn't give me a initiative option. That's unfortunate. I'll roll a d6 from one of you all instead. I'll take that. That's what I wanted. 3. Okay, so you are able to act first. So, let's see. They're going to stay. You can. Anybody moving can move now. All right. Nobody else moving, and then you can. If you're firing a bow or a missile, you can roll to hit and for damage.
D20.
D20. Yeah. You want to beat a
Do you own a bow yet, Ben?
armor class 13.
I think I was still borrowing yours, and I've been using sling stones.
Okay, you can borrow mine. You can keep borrowing mine, as far as I'm concerned.
Rolled a
Okay.
12. Does that hit?
A 12 does not hit, but
Oh.
did you roll? Does that include your bonus?
Oh. Dexterity or.
Yeah. Okay, so you got a 14.
Oh, okay.
And then depending if she's close enough, the whole +1 to.
Yeah, that's right. And you're close range, so you can do. So it's 15 actually. Yeah.
Alright, so I rolled a dexterity check by accident first. I guess it is a check, but it's still 13, and then I rolled an 8 with it. So.
13 does hit. Yeah, you all can roll for damage. Which one are you shooting at?
I was going to go for, I guess, the one up here on the left. Is that inmate? Was I guess the shoot first before he's in melee, I guess? Is that right? Or is it shooting into melee?
No, it's not. I'm not going to do the shooting in the melee with this game. You can shoot it.
Okay. So what's the bow's D6, right?
Yep. Except I think Alara, you have a longbow is a D8, I think.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. 3, and then what'd you get, Alara?
I got a 6.
6. 3 and 6 is 9. These arrows strike into it. It screams, but it's still alive. All right. Anyone doing a melee attack can do so now. I'll do that with Tharnlin would have charged in. I apologize.
Are these creatures chaotic by any chance?
They are neutral, as a matter of fact.
Great, I missed with a 7.
That would have hit. That hits. And that misses. That was the wrong one. That was the wrong one again. 3 and I'm going to steal this one. 3 and 6. Okay, so 9. All right, so they kill this one. And would you get Hilmer?
No.
Only a 7.
All right. And then let's see. What about Edward?
I don't know what the heck just happened. I don't know if I did something wrong.
Oh no, you got it. It says attacks with
No.
Brandonsford. Hits AC
No,
16.
No, I think I gave myself two. I put a +1 in the situational bonus.
Okay, well it still hits because it's -3 from what you got. You got a 13, and that still hits it.
Okay.
Plus, it's a +1 weapon and any strength
Oh, I
bonus.
see. I didn't need to add the +1. It's already there.
Oh, interesting.
Okay.
Okay. And you do 6 damage. Okay.
So 6. Is this supposed to do only 6? It should be a D8, right?
Yeah, longsword should be D8.
Yeah.
You can
I'm just gonna re-roll the damage real quick.
Sure.
Hey.
All right.
Still 6. All right. Okay. This one's gonna attack Edward. Does a 11 hit?
No.
This one's gonna try to attack Knob. An 8 misses, and then Tharnlin, an 18 hits. It does 2d6. I'm gonna ignore the d20 part. I don't need that. Well, let me try it again. Well, 2d6. Right here. It does 4 damage to Tharnlin. And he also has to make a save versus death. Save versus
Right.
poison. I can't remember what a dwarf has. I need to put his stuff in here. Here, I worked on this stuff today. I didn't have that. He's a level 3, I believe. Save versus death is 8. And go. Fails. Okay. So, don't worry. I've thought about this. He is poisoned. Which is bad. Boom. And he's going to start dying. That's the really bad thing about Thornland. He's essentially taken out of the quest, but we'll talk about that in a minute. Let's see. Alara, roll a d6 for initiative. D6.
5.
5. You are able to go first again. If you're moving, you can do that now. If you're firing a bow, you can roll for attack and damage. Same with melee.
I rolled a 19.
19 hits.
And I get a 5 damage.
5. All right, you kill one of them.
I just realized I have this cutlass I've barely used that is magic, so I'm charging in to.
Oh, I gotta figure out what your cutlass does.
I know it's a +1. That's all I know so far.
I think, if I recall correctly, we just went with a D8.
Yeah,
So we
D8.
decided it was a sword. So it's
And you can
D8.
use your dexterity bonus.
Oh, nice.
So it's a +1 plus whatever your dexterity bonus is. And you can also add that to damage.
Nice. Would it be possible to run around to get a backstab on this thing?
Um,
No,
yes.
seems perfectly fair. Oh, yes.
Yeah, because everybody's fighting it. Okay. Let's see. Tharnland's gonna try to attack, but he gets a -1 for the first round, but he still hits, and he does D8 damage, and kills this other spider. You see Tharnland just like screaming. He jumps through the air and slices this thing in twain, and then he collapses to the ground moaning.
Where's my paladin book?
Oh,
I might have.
Tharnland is shaking and coughing and stuff.
Let me see here.
He's like, I'm all right. I'm all right. And then he falls over to the ground again.
Still have that which is potable I never used. This is a healing potion. I don't know if it's going to do any good for poison, but do we ever use that? I still have it on my
Do you have it?
notes. I have it in my note that I was carrying it, and I still had it listed, and I hadn't scratched it off of my little backpack note that I got.
I'll say that you can delay the effects of the poison if you pass a wisdom check.
Okay,
if you
let's
use it.
see. Let's try that. Oof. 50-50. Did I do it? What's going on? Wisdom. Okay, roll it. It's another 8. Success.
Nice. Okay. Yeah, you're able to use this to bind the wound, and you kind of do a tourniquet and everything to slow the poison and then prevent the infection and calm all the heat and the fever from the wound. It seems like it slows everything down. He's like, I could keep going. I think I could keep going. Now you look at him. He could keep going, but at some point the effects of the poison will start speeding up if he doesn't get care.
How far are we? Was there a village that this place we're heading to is on top?
Ralbin.
I mean,
Oh, go ahead.
No. Well, I was assuming at this point, I don't know how far along we are in our journey, if it'd be quicker to go back or to go on.
Raubin says, no, listen, I don't, just go on without me then, at least. I'll make my own way back to Griff's Bluff.
Not Raubin, but Thornlin, you mean?
Yeah, Thornlin says that, yeah.
Does he look like he could, given the effects of the potion?
That looks like about what he could do. He looks like he could make it back, but, you know, if he were to make it to your all's destination, this thing will start getting worse.
Okay. You were saying?
To go back with him just in case he gets ambushed or something like that. We just kind of do a push the horses. And...
He's
so you
like,
want to?
I'll be fine. Just, I'll make it back. Go on without me.
I guess we shouldn't delay too long.
Well, what do you think?
What's the ETA? I mean, how far? I don't have a good idea of how far we are, but I guess it's going to be another day if we head back.
But how long?
Start over in the morning.
Robin says, I think that we're, what's my Robin voice? I
think we're...
I think that we'll probably be there in about 2 or 3 hours.
And how long have we ridden?
Probably 2 or a couple hours.
We should send him the other way because then he's actually there's the sister there. She could probably heal him up. We don't know who's in that other place.
Yeah. Well, the question is whether or not we go back with him. I mean, so I'll
we don't lose much if we go back with him and then just turn back around.
Yeah.
Let's escort him back. We can't. Don't leave a man behind.
Yeah.
Okay. When you make it back to Griff's Bluff, you bring him into the temple there, and evening, not darkness, but just like say 5-6 p.m. in the autumn starts to come, and by the time you make it back, it will probably be. They're able to help him at the temple. Though they ask you to leave him in town as far as him healing his wounds. If he departs, he will have, his 4 wounds that he's traveling with.
Yeah, we've thought as much. So the question is if we want to call today a loss and rest up and head out fresh in the morning.
Yeah, that's probably best. You said he has 4 wounds?
Yeah, 4, that's right.
Well, lay hands on him.
Oh, never mind.
And then that'll do 2 hit points per level. So that's 4 back.
All right. Yeah, no, he's it's miraculous, and the attendants in the temple are amazed at this, and whispers start to circulate about this Helmer.
He chuckles. He says, "Actually, everyone in my order can do this. You didn't know? We are truly blessed."
Yeah. Okay. So you've already paid for your night's stay at the Lone Watchmen Inn. Let's see what's going on there.
Kind of run in, grab some food, put on blinders, go straight to the room.
Yeah, I feel like Mary in the prancing pony. Like, no. You all want to go to? Fine, go to the. Can we just skip the common room?
Yeah, just go la 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 la.
Oh, I don't know that these are things about you getting involved so much as things getting involved with you. Let's see here.
Yeah,
That's fair.
I guess it's not possible to be anonymous here anymore.
Interesting.
Sorry, once again, I will be right back.
The inn is packed with people, as well as a group of 10 performers who are putting on a song that is sort of, well, it's blasphemous in body about the ancient past of this place. You can hear people talking. This is clearly yesterday's muse, the people that you were impersonating. And let's see here. I also need to roll this. Okay. That's what you see down here. One of them approaches you when you come in, and you're probably two of you are helping drag Tharnlin in, to recover from his wounds. One of them comes up and he's clearly very well dressed, and he says, excuse me, sirs. I was looking just for people like you, in fact. I have a proposal for you.
I sigh deeply. Oh, yes? What might that be, friend?
Well, you see, we are yesterday's muse. We're one of the most well-known and highly rated, I might add, acting troupes in all of the evening lands. We come from the western cities. We traveled from Pomperberg recently, but we do put on performances in places like Griff's Bluff. It's just, you see, some people don't understand our art, and we've received death threats. We can pay if you can protect us.
Protect you?
Who's giving the death threats?
I don't know. They're anonymous. We get little missives saying that we should leave town and things like that.
Do you have any of them?
He shows you the notes. They're just plain
Get their notes.
notes that are just like blasphemer, you'll face judgment, and stuff like that. How does Helmer feel about these people?
I just got backward in it.
Oh, my bad. Yeah, so there's an acting troupe here, the ones that you were impersonating at the keep. They're actually at the tavern now performing. And they have a crowd, and they're performing blasphemous things that contradict the church's stance on the ancient past of the Evening Lands. And they've approached you all asking for protection because people have been threatening them.
Elmer just kind of is kind of looking at them like.
I think your mic is
Your mic is up.
Sorry. Elmer's kind of giving them this like, are you serious? Look. Okay. So, you came to Griff's Bluff, the center of the faith, and decided to sing these songs, and now you're surprised that there are consequences to your actions.
Are you wearing plate mail?
Yeah.
They say, he's like, I see, not a patron of the arts then. Well, perhaps someone else will be able to find their services. He bows to you and backs
They
off.
said they could pay too, though.
We don't have time. As much as I might like the money, we just don't have the time. We've already wasted a day.
Oh, I was just thinking for the night, but yeah, that makes sense.
Well, I mean, we're here in the inn. If anyone assaults the inn, we will protect it. That's the best we can really say.
And
But
they should
I mean, if
strip that protection for the evening, right?
yes. Well, why don't you go negotiate the cost of the evening then?
Do you try to swindle them, Ben? Is that the goal?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Totally.
Well, I mean, it's not a
It's
pure
not swindle
bluff,
so much
you
as
know.
just taking advantage, and I mean,
You
gift horse. Sure.
I mean, I'm happy enough to make sure nobody tries any ruffianly things here in the inn while they're performing, just because I want peace while we're here for the night.
Ben, roll a charisma check to be able to swindle them. And what do you tell them? Well, you told them.
I was like,
nice thing. Yeah.
Yeah, we can't promise. I mean, we're not going to be your bodyguards for long term, but for the evening, I'll keep an eye out and do the best to keep you safe.
Okay.
And I failed that charisma check.
They're like, it's not quite what we were looking for, but we're very grateful for your interest. Have a good evening. Please excuse me. I have to return to my performance. And they start. Basically, what the crux of the story. It's like if you've ever heard of the play, The Book of Mormon. Where they create like this whole false, kind of this counter narrative. And the counter narrative in this case is that Griff was not a holy knight. He was actually just a local warlord and just stirred up a hornet's nest with the goblins and created the whole problem to begin with. It's pretty blasphemous.
I hate to be that guy, but would I ever have a better chance to use my pickpocket skill without people turning on me if I get caught?
You could do that if you want.
I mean, it's only...
I mean, people will turn on you if you get caught. I think that's fair to...
But they only... Well, assuming he's not 4th level or anything, he's not above 50, there's a 1% chance of failure. If I roll twice the percentage required for success, then it's noticed. So
okay.
I'd have to be... If I roll higher than a 70, he notices the attempt.
Okay. Go for it.
Drum roll.
Yeah, let's see. Sorry, I'm relearning. Okay, let's just roll it this way.
Hey,
17. That's a success.
All right. You can roll. Well, I'll roll it. That's not. You obtain a bag of 11 gold pieces.
11 gold. Every little bit. Should have taken my offer. All right.
So they're spending the evening playing heretical things.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, I'm gonna wait for the first lull in the music because they got to take a break, every once in a while. And then it's time to strike up a chord.
See a goblin, throw a rock.
See a goblin, throw. Well, we're not. We'll start with see a goblin, throw a rock, sure, because that's a crowd pleaser.
Birdie, that's like their second most famous song is See a Goblin, Throw a Rock.
What's the first? Legend of Brandon or something?
Yeah,
like that?
I thought so.
Yeah, most likely.
While he's doing that, still in full plate, Helmer's got it like one hand on his hip and one on the one on the sword side, resting on the hilt, and just giving them all the stink eye.
So are we doing a sing-off then?
We're about to see what happens.
Battle of the Bands.
And just for good measure, up to 6 HD creatures are affected.
All right.
And fascinated. by the performance yet again.
Do they, I'll use Alara's thing here. Do they do save versus magic? Is it...
Yes. Well, each subject, yeah, save versus spells.
They fail.
Okay. So their attention is fully bent on my performance as long as it continues, and it continues long enough to get to the Ballad of Sir Brandon, and I'll make sure to add a verse about the saintly and blessed and valorous and virtuous and victorious Sir Griff.
Yesterday's views. You now have made enemies with the Yesterday's Muse. They find the audience is so enthralled with your performance and with you coming back and everything. This is your second night in a row, by the way, of performing this. They throw these losers out on the streets and they just walk away. Their faces just seething with anger at what you've done to them. And you earn their money in their stead. So you earn another 3 gold pieces.
All right.
Nice.
At them as their gloom.
Took them for everything they were worth, as much as we could get.
Counting my 11 coins, 3. That you made quite a buck.
Yes, honest work.
Quite the take tonight, as I'm jingling 11 gold pieces.
Nice.
Well, mostly honest.
All right. The next day, the sun rises. Is this kind of a Griff's Bluffish?
Bluffish.
And let's get some autumn leaves coming in here. So it's autumn time. And all right, so
Strike out immediately, first thing in the morning, no delay.
First light. You make your way toward the Braymill Wood once more.
Maybe riding a little faster through there.
And
no more mushrooms.
We're not stopping for mushrooms this time, sorry.
The hobbits are like, oh man.
They better be good mushrooms.
Yeah.
They do have mushrooms. I gotta note that too.
Are they a stand-in for rations, or are they
mushrooms? You can try.
mysterious?
Eat some of the mushrooms.
No, I don't really know. The glowing mushroom.
We already had one party member poisoned. We should wait until we're in another town.
Yeah.
We should try and make up with the yesterday's news or whatever with some mushrooms.
Offer them some mushroom tea.
Oh no!
Yeah.
You all are vicious. D&D is just like, oh, we can poison these people now. we've embarrassed them and thrown them out in the streets. Now we should make poison tea.
Hey, we fought hard for those mushrooms. It's a well-earned gift.
I mean, they are blasphemers and heretics, so.
Yeah.
That's also everybody's like already on side Griff's bluff. Like, anyways. Okay, so.
I've converted, apparently.
Yeah, except Ben. Ben's like, I am making money, so I guess I'm on board. All right, Steve, Helmer, roll a d6.
Here it comes. 2.
A 2. Roll another d6.
Here it comes.
5.
You see in the shadows of the wood lights. It looks like let's see, like bright green glowing eyes in the dark.
shouts, "Right on, friends, right on!"
No investigating lights. Keep moving.
Oh, it's not showing up because that's weird. Oh goodness. Well, anyways, you hear aggressive scraping and grunting noises. I'm gonna roll 2d6.
Are the glowing lights moving?
They are now, and they're getting closer and rapidly.
Okay, so we're not ignoring the glowing lights anymore.
Don't
I'm gonna
ignore
pull
them,
my
just don't move towards.
So I think
bow out.
the key, if do you want to try to run or do you want to stop and fight them?
Let's run. Let's just.
Run.
Well, can we move? If we
Go
can
for it.
run by moving forward, then let's do that.
Right, on like on horseback or whatever.
Yeah.
We'll gallop.
What? in the
We
world?
have the mule with us, so
Fast coconuts.
yeah.
Hold a carrot out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Huh. Need to put it like there, I guess. Okay, so you see these green lights, and then you hear something like hooves slamming into the ground and huffing noises, and you start to dart past. Somebody needs to roll a dexterity check to see if you get away, and this will determine if the mules get away.
Oh no.
Yeah, and if they fail, then either the mules are going to be struck by these things, or you're going to have to fight.
Question is how much of our stuff the mules have on them.
I'll say that you can get the stuff off the mules if you're trying to sacrifice a mule.
Okay, here it
So
comes.
dexterity check. Who's got the best dex?
It ain't
I
me.
have 16.
That
Ooh,
sounds
probably.
pretty good to me.
You want to roll
13?
a 16 or
oh,
under?
plus 2, so 15.
All right. So what did you roll?
No, it's not a +2. You rolled
Do I
under.
use-
You roll under for a straight attribute
Okay.
check. So you made it.
Nice.
Okay.
Good.
All right. Cool. Yeah, you are able
Yay!
to get the mules and kind of keep them like maybe somebody's riding, and Alara, you grab the reins of the mule and like you just drag them along and keep them up with you and stuff, and you gallop off into the woods. The lights disappear behind you.
Elf gets to be the horse master going forward.
Oops, I did not want to.
You're
do
hired.
that. Okay. And then, let's see, Edward, roll a d6. A 2. Roll one more d6. You're fleeing. You can hear your breathing, your heart beating in your ear as you're like fleeing down this road. And then all of a sudden, you see something in the path ahead of you. It's a small white object in the road, in the middle of the road. There's a fluffy white rabbit in the center of the road ahead.
Guard your neck.
Somehow my brain goes to killer rabbits from Minecraft. I don't know why.
Look
I'm
at the
going
road.
to. I'm gonna reach in the feed bag, and grab a handful and hold it out.
Okay.
Hold it out or toss it to it.
Hold it out.
You hold out the feed in your hand, and the bunny rabbit like bounces towards you slowly.
Yeah, I'm
Comes
gonna
up to your hand.
Yeah, and I'm gonna cast Animal Friendship.
Okay. How long does that take?
Well, if the save fails, it has to save versus spells, first of all.
Okay. passes.
Okay.
Oh.
So in that case, it just eats the food and nothing happens. Otherwise, it would take 6 turns.
Okay. What's your intention? What are you trying to do with it?
Befriend it and take it with us.
Okay. It hops up and it starts sniffing. Starts to eat some food. Sits back. Takes some more food. This goes on for a while. And it seems to be enjoying your company. If you take the time to befriend it, it'll work, but you'll have to roll another d6. But if it works, you'll have a bunny. All right, no encounter. So the turns pass, and the bunny follows you around, and you have a pet white rabbit now.
Greatest record.
Now, when you say it works, do you mean it's just my regular friend, or you mean that the spell actually worked?
No, the
'Cause
spell
it was
works. Yeah.
Okay, so it was a willing. It wasn't trying to resist, basically.
Yeah, absolutely. It was totally down with that.
All right, cool.
Party mascot, the jackalope.
Okay, so you
I'll call him Jack.
you eventually.
Wait, is it he? I don't know how to sex a rabbit, so
Where do you carry this
I'll
rabbit?
assume. I'm gonna make some space. How big is it?
It's maybe this
Good.
big. It's a little bunny.
Yeah.
It's a little tiny
That's
white bunny.
I'll make some space in a saddlebag and, chuck him in there.
All right,
you
yeah.
know.
It pokes its head out of the saddlebag and stays in there and rides along with you. Okay.
Give him,
We could
give him
even
the-
weave a cage out of sticks for it at some point if we have the time.
Yeah.
Sure. Well, he's a friend. He's not going anywhere. Or if you just mean
Well, no, but like
a
to carry on the horse, so
Sure.
like something you could attach to your horse or
A
to
hutch
a
for his
donkey, so he
comfort.
could ride out. Yeah,
Sure.
so he could ride out with you. And get
All right.
there.
All right. Sounds like a goal.
Okay. So, let's see.
Imagine the bunny just sloshing around on a horse's butt. as it's-
'Cause I'm banking on this thing being a were bunny. All right.
You travel until you get. Do you have any kind of what kind of special things does a paladin have? Without looking at it.
So I've got book here. Let's see, it's a level 2 paladin. Can't cast spells yet. Can't do that. So I can lay on hands once a day for 4 hit points currently. And I'm immune to all disease, which is kind of cool. That's pretty much it.
Gotcha. Okay. You travel down an old path after you exit the forest, at least the dense part of the forest. You see a village. The structures are ruined. There's the remains of a cobblestone mill that's about 2 stories with a water wheel, but the water wheel is broken and rotted. It simply lists back and forth in the creek, something keeping it from ever completely rotating. Most of its spokes are rotten off. And there are collapsed remains of other homes and sheds that were once a community. There's a chapel in the heart of the place that once served the adherents of the Thrice Blessed. There's a low stone and dirt rampart that once clearly defended the place, but it has collapsed in many places and now only barely serves to obscure the buildings that lay within it. As you approach, Relbin says, "This was once a prosperous village, Braymill, but it has fallen, and I have heard strange stories that have come from it.
Such as?
They say that people here have changed. That
What
there
people?
are the people that were once here. They say that they still abide here in the hills and in the stone, working the mud. That they are hardly people anymore. That they have changed. Some say they have limbs, legs for arms and arms for legs. or even multiple limbs, but they're different now.
Disgusting. Why would that?
Makes this sign.
Yes. What could do such a thing?
So you ride until you see this place in the distance, and then let's see, Alara, roll a d6. And I also will. What'd you get, Birdie?
Rolling a d6.
Yeah,
Got a 4.
4. Okay. You see each other from a distance. You see goblin sentries. They wear scraped and scarred black and steel armor, a motley collection of earthy colored rags and mail, open steeled helms and sharp visors, spikes on different parts of their armor, shards of metal twisted and turned up into sharp places to gore their enemies even as they attack them. These sentries are visible from various makeshift ramparts. You can see them, and they can see you. What do you do?
They've
You
taken
said they're
the town.
goblins?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh. Guess we could just go around.
How many are there?
When Helmer offers to go around, Robin says, "Unfortunately, this town, underneath it somewhere is the very tomb we seek.
Oh, it's this town.
Of course it is.
There are probably a dozen or so, maybe more. Those are at least the ones you can see."
Are they saying or shouting anything, like calling for backup or anything?
Nope, but you can tell they can see you, and they're watching and waiting.
Are they armed with bows?
They do not appear to have bows. Their weapons look ramshackle and haphazard and constructed from things, or former weapons that are rusted and then pieced back together with rope. You would assume that, as far as ranged weapons, they have slings.
Perhaps we could treat with.
Yes, we may have to. Well,
So clear entrances and exits just to, like, they're clear
So-
out into town, or like walls that they're on top of, or
It looks like they've made makeshift ramparts and defensive positions on the ruins of walls of various buildings, and then, of course, the old keep that I mentioned.
Should we try to draw them out or draw them to a battleground of our choosing, since they probably are well acquainted with the town?
I don't see they have any reason to come after us. They haven't started after us yet. We may have to just walk in.
Did we offer payments of some sort to allow us to go in? Though I worry they will ask our business and wish to take both.
Prepare yourselves to fight, but we must try to talk at first, I think.
Okay, well, one of you speaks Goblin. I don't think anybody else does. What do you say?
So we're trying to trade with them?
We want to go in and
Find a relic.
find yes, the tomb of a saint.
Or tell them we're looking for a funny knife to win a bet. That way they're not interested.
So I would tell the goblins that we are travelers seeking an odd item to win a bet. We mean them no harm and simply wish to pass by peacefully.
They laugh and chitter amongst each other, talking about bets. They place bets on your lives. This is normal goblin talk. And then they say, "You're here to see Ardak? You're here to see Ardak?" To Alara.
Is he your leader?
Ardak is the leader. Ardak the Grim, greatest goblin bandit lord in the Evening Lands.
Oh, well, if he is the greatest goblin lord, then I do suppose we should see him.
They laugh, and then they wave you on, as if to say, well, come on in.
So I'll turn it to all our friends. They wish to introduce us to their leader.
All right, ready for
So we just walk into a escort of goblins to go see a bigger goblin while we're surrounded by goblins?
I think we outnumber them.
You're taken
Now,
into... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was going to ask, am I able to charm him if needed?
You could try to charm him, yes. Let's see here. I need to bring that up because this is one of the situations where, let's see, magic user spells, charm. It says, let's see, human, demi-human, or human-like monster, save versus spell, be charmed, or God's caster's close friend, language. Okay, so basically, they'll act like you're their friend, is what it will be, So you won't it's not like Swords and Wizardry, like you won't own them, but they will regard you as their friend. It's actually like Hero's Journey.
Basically like making him my best friend like Briarbean did. Kind of thing.
Yep. All right.
Talk him into letting us do what we want and leave us alone.
Now, you'll have to, kind of do your Jedi mind powers, and it's possible they may find out you're trying to do it if you fail. So there's that, right? But anyways, we'll see. Okay, so you get brought in. They bring.
I suggest that we try a double attack. I can offer to perform, and you can do it during the performance. And if it doesn't work, I can try.
That would probably work.
But then at least
distract them a little bit.
Perhaps, yes, that might be enough of a distraction. Okay, just wanted to get that.
Okay. Okay, so you're brought in by these goblins. They escort you in to a collapsed low stone and dirt rampart into a room that still has a ceiling. Only one wall has collapsed. And there is a much larger goblin. He's hunched over. He peers at you all and looks as you come in, and he's like, "I don't think that you're here just to trade." He says that in common.
Ah, you are right. We are not here just to trade, but also, as you goblins would closely understand, as part of a bet.
Okay.
Your warriors claim you are the best in the land, and we wished to meet you.
Your human cities think that I'm the best goblin. They call me the Bandit Lord. They call me the Outlaw, the Black Blade, the Assassin. They hunt me, and all of us, the Fell Few. And then they all like, "Ah!" and they jump up and down and like shake their weapons in the air, and he says, "Speak plainly. Why would you come to Ardak the Grim?"
Well, first of all, thank you for your hospitality.
It smells really bad in here. Go ahead.
Like pickled fish.
At best.
Full Strawman.
Yes, we come to do a little digging. She mentioned a bet. We have to find a... What was it?
A knife.
And everybody can roll a d6. And the elf and Ben can pass on a 1 or 2. Or a 3.
I got a 1.
Whatever you're... Okay. And then...
2.
2. Okay, yeah, so you both pass. You notice an unusually gleaming and fine quality sword at the side of Ardak, not the sort of sword of a goblin. And
Does it look like a match for the other sword?
yeah, the scabbard itself, it looks like it's a human make. It's a fine steel scabbard with filigree on it, as if it were borne by a knight.
That's too bad for him. My goodness.
And Ardak
Glance
says,
over at the elf.
"You want to go into the crypt. You've found it. You know that I have it here, the crypt."
That is what we're looking for, yes. Hole in the ground. Frightening, filled with horrible things, and somewhere there's a knife. We're supposed to get it and live, and then we get a round of drinks.
I can't say what knives you'll find there, but I'll make a deal. Something that'll work for both of us. I'll let you in the crypt. You can go anywhere you want in the crypt. But you have to do something for me.
Oh?
Briggle. Briggle's band. He's not as reputable as a goblin as I am, you see. Briggle is a menace, a threat on this entire valley. He commands the largest number of goblins in the Evening Lands. It's well known that he wants to unite all of us goblins under his command. He's a threat to humans and goblins. It will mean war. And if he wins, the Evening Lands will be a goblin kingdom, not human.
And you don't want that to happen.
No.
More fun this way, isn't it?
Kill Briggle.
Kill Briggle and then we can go in the crypt.
Ah. Find Briggle and kill him.
Is it a charming offer?
I suppose we have no choice but to accept.
Mesmerized by your grace, and
He sits in the blasted old manor, east of here. You'll have to cross the Beaver Run, stay south of the Dragon Shrine until you get to the Whitewash River, halfway before you get to Whitewash Hold. In the old manor, that is where he keeps his lieutenants, and he sits on his throne as if he were the king of the goblins. And you notice he keeps looking at who has all the weird stuff. It's Ben, right?
Find weird stuff, but I do have
Chalice,
some weird
ring. There's a
Oh,
third
that's all
thing.
that.
jeweled cutlass. Yeah.
Jewel cutlass, chalice, ring.
I have a ring. I don't know if I have the ring, but we can say I do.
Yeah, he keeps looking at your stuff.
I crashed again, so I'm not sure what I missed. So did we agree to go kill another goblin for this goblin?
Yeah, I was just saying he keeps looking at your stuff where you keep all the weird objects like the chalice and the ring and yeah, those things. And then no, it hasn't been agreed upon yet, but Ardak says, make your decision.
Well, I said, I suppose we have no choice but to accept.
Could we have a little conference real quick to discuss our options?
All right.
Of course.
Kind of huddle in, like, you notice he's got the sword.
He's got
Seems
a
like
he's got a sword.
He's got a sword that looks pretty nice. He might already have it for all we know.
Would
Yes.
the guy that we're traveling with, I blinked on his name, would he know what it looks like?
I mean, didn't we?
Griff?
It looks very similar to the sword of Brandon.
Ralbin says, it does look like the sword I'm looking for.
Because it seems like a fool errand to go
Yes.
through all that trouble if
Yes.
the item we need is right here, and he may know that.
Yes.
Perhaps he'd be willing to trade for a song.
Yes, indeed. I was thinking the same thing.
I mean, you might want to get some pointers on how to write a song about this amazing goblin here. So he'll need to be able to hear an example if you're gonna, immortalize him in song. He needs some knowledge of your skills, right?
It's too true.
I mean,
And
that part
slightly,
might be spoken loud enough that he could hear.
yeah, slightly louder, he goes, and the Fell Few is a beautiful
Oh, the
Thank you
lyrics.
for the
The lyrics almost write themselves. It's true. I say as I begin unslinging my lute.
Oh, you're gonna. Okay. What do you propose? What do you all propose to Ardak? Certainly, he's not going to allow you to unsling a lute and start playing it. So, that being said, though, what do you propose? Let's see here.
I propose to suggest that we agree and that we should celebrate. It's obviously too late in the evening for us to leave on this journey now, and so we should all celebrate, and I'd be very happy to entertain the Fell Few
I mean,
for nothing more than a safe place to sleep tonight.
it's not every day that a wandering, artist as yourself gets the chance to compose or learn about a bandit lord. I don't know. Just saying.
So, I'm sorry, I may have missed it because I was doing something stupid. Are you saying you're going to agree and you're going to work out these terms, but also you?
No,
also...
I'm going to tell him we agree. Propose that we celebrate. Ask that for the mere price of a song, a few songs entertaining his Fell Few, that he'll allow us to stay the evening and go off in the morning. Meantime, I'd like to charm as many of them as possible, take the sword, and get out.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Ben, you can tell he's looking at your sack that you keep your things in when you say that. He's like, you agree. Very well. You can't stay the night. Trust me, you won't want to. You'll want to get clear of this place of the Bramil Wood. But a song. And then he like says, and then all the goblins start dancing around. Once again, oh wait, let me see if I have my goblin song here. I don't know if this will work anymore. Oh, that's sad. They got rid of it. Yeah. Well, magic dance, obviously, is what has to be there.
Magic dance, magic dance.
So, okay, so you put on a song for everybody, and they have to save versus spell.
Up to 6 HD of them, save versus spell.
So, and let me make sure that I understand. The idea is that this is a distraction. This is something
Well,
to be able to.
there's two things going on. I get the song going. That can fascinate up to 6 HD of people. Meanwhile, she can try the charm. And if it doesn't work, I can continue the performance and charm as many people as are listening for a number of turns equal to my bard level.
All right. This is going to be my bargain that I offer for this, because I think it's a solid plan. So you can do it, but it consists of 2 things needing to succeed. 3 things. The first thing is that one of you needs to succeed on your spell. One of you. To create the distraction. The second thing is that Ben needs to either succeed on a dexterity check, which, if only the dexterity check passes, they'll be alerted to it and you have to get out of here. Or a pickpocket check, and if you pass on that, then they're not even going to notice. And then the last thing is you have to describe how you're managing to distract this goblin lord.
Yeah. So okay.
So that's the chain of task, the task resolution chain or whatever.
All right. So they have to make save versus spell.
All right.
For the enchantment, and it's up to 6 HD. And I'm targeting the chief and his people around him, basically whoever closest goblins to Mr. Man.
It fails. I mean, they fail, and so you are
So,
actively entertaining them now.
Okay, so their attention they are rapt. Fascinated subject's attention is fully bent on the bard's performance as long as it continues. So that sounds enough of a distraction.
You got it.
And then I'm going to add to the distraction. It says the bard may walk while playing. I'm not going to walk outside or anything. I'm going to walk around sort of the edges of their little setup here and like do a little dance and
You're
like
doing the David Bowie thing. Yeah, totally.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I'm dancing the magic dance and I'm pantomiming, and I'm making a little bit of a mess, knocking over some mugs and stuff like that. I'm sure they'll love that, and that should be that should be enough for my part for the start of it, and the rest of it I don't need to activate unless
that works. Now for Alara, what I'll say is, since that works so well, you can still attempt to charm if Ben gets in hot water. But the first thing is, Ben, you can attempt to pickpocket the sword, but how do you? So there's this distraction going on, but also this like bandit lord has to be distracted. You have to get that sword off his belt somehow.
Right. So is he wrapped with the song as well? Or
He is paying attention to the song. Yes.
Okay. So I guess I'm trying. Well, I'm trying to be kind of clapping along with the in music and kind of slinking to the side, trying to slowly work my way as he's dancing around the room.
Yeah.
Hopefully he's a little bit, maybe even, wrapped a little more than just paying attention to the charmish effects of the spell. I don't know how wrapped, how much attention that draws, but I was hoping to kind of slowly work my way as in like chummy kind of way with the all the goblins that were having a good time here, and kind of work my way close to the bandit lord. And if he's still seeming focused on the song, then I'll be trying to.
All right. So here are your options.
Yeah.
Do you have any old equipment that is like? Do you have an old sword you're not using now that you have a new one?
I have a hand axe.
Okay, so here's what you can do. You think if you're really good, you can unclip that sword and clip on a hand axe and then just walk away and put this thing down your shirt. That's if you are just masterful. If that fails, you think you might be able to just pull the sword out, but you're gonna have to flee if the elf can't help you somehow. Okay, so you can make a pickpocket check.
Okay, so my pickpocket is 35%. For if he's over 5th level, it's reduced by 5% for every level over 5 he is. And he only notices the failure if I roll twice my number. So the base for him to notice the attempt is a 70, or if I roll above a 70.
Okay.
Then he notices my pickpocket attempt. I got to get it under a 35 for it to actually work, based on just base, unless he's a high level or something. So let's see. 57 is not a success, but he doesn't notice me trying to do it.
He doesn't.
So he only notices the attempt if it's over a 70, but I did not succeed.
I'll tell you how much HD he is, because he's a Goblin King.
Yeah.
So he's got 6, 7, 8 HP. Wait, no, I'm sorry, I'm reading the wrong thing. He is 3 HD.
3 HD. So if HD counts as level, then it's just the base.
All right.
Yeah.
So you don't think you need to charm him yet, but the only chance you're going to get this sword is if you just grab the sword. But then there's a chance maybe you could try to charm him, as the elf to distract him.
Yeah, so I'm as if the ploy isn't obvious. I'm kind of like when he's out of ice, shot of the goblin. I'm kind of like, I got nothing, and then I'm gonna make a snatch for it.
Okay, you pull the sword. Alara, you could attempt to try to charm him, but how do you do that? Like, what does it look like when you charm somebody?
Okay, so okay. So, I've never done that before with spell. Let's see. So I'm gonna guess that I probably just make kind of a suggestion to him, and if the charm is successful, he goes along with it, and then if he doesn't, then he's like, "Wait, what?" But just like try to flatter him and.
So he's not paying attention to the sword being drawn.
Yes.
Okay.
Just kind of clapping along with him and commenting on what a great leader he is, and he knows how to celebrate, and look at how great his warriors are, and I am so glad that you and I are friends.
It's a save versus magic, right?
Yeah.
And let me get let's see. Monster saving throws, 1 to 3. Magic is 16. So I'm going to use this paralysis one because it's a 16. He fails. And so by distracting him, you're able to pull the blade out and just dance off with it. However, you all now only have a limited amount of time before they get wise of this. And
I'm going to activate the charm aspect of this now. All fascinated subjects, if they're still listening, must make another save versus spells with a +2 bonus. If they fail, they're charmed for 1 turn per level of the bard, so 3 turns.
Okay, the goblins are totally in your thrall now, as they're also charmed. This gives you enough time, also, is what this does.
They regard me as a trusted friend and ally, And if they share a language, which none of them do except the chief, they will obey my commands as long as it doesn't violate their alignment.
All right. You are able to make off with the sword. Oh man, my.
I'm gonna ask actually before we leave. I'm gonna ask if I can.
Are we able to confirm before we leave that this is indeed the blade that we need?
I want to.
Go ahead, Chris. Sorry.
Oh, sorry. Well, yeah. I mean, we asked the question at the same time, so.
Oh, it's the same. Okay, and then Bert. Okay, so as you start to leave.
No. Sorry. I didn't get my. She wanted to know if we were able to confirm that the blade was.
Oh, I thought that. You'll need to get a little bit away before you can do that.
Okay, so what I wanted to do was, since we're all very good friends now, I wanted to ask whether or not I could have just quickly borrow the scabbard from the chief.
No, there's no way. Yeah, that would then they would know. It would be obvious to them.
Would that? Well, does it violate their alignment?
No, it's just that if you point out, hey, we took this sword from you. How about that scabbard also? Then all of a sudden it's like, oh, my sword is gone. So the whole ruse would be off.
I see.
Yeah.
You tell them to fight. You guys should have a good old scrap.
Yeah. All right. So
goblin games.
It's a sad loss. A nice old scabbard.
Yeah, it would have been a nice scabbard, but who's to say that you won't ultimately get it now? Something happens. Actually, as you make it, bear with me just a little bit longer so I can, you make it back to the Braymill Wood. It's not actually this dark, but you make it back and, let's see, Robin is like, the blade, is it the one? Is it Griff's sword? Can I see it? This is as you're traveling back to Griff's Bluff.
Here, stand it over.
He looks at it, and all of a sudden, you see him start to shiver and bend over, and you hear like a cackling noise, and you hear bones start to snap, and something inside of Robin starts to change and burst out from its container of flesh. And,
oh no!
And you see that this sword has a strange tint to it. Something is wrong with it. And then this winged creature in the Braymill Wood says, "Thank you, my friends." And then the voice changes, and then it laughs and it darts off into the air. And that is where we'll end the session for tonight.